We are here. It is now, and don't adjust your screens because it is a special edition of the Fight IQ podcast, and we'll call this 2026 Year End Champions Edition. This is where uh, my usual co-host Joe Sunzu and Drake Never Burden will go through every division, uh, see what champions we think are going to come out with the belt at the end of 2026, and give you a couple future bets that we think are live to play, and maybe some that are pretty juiced up as well. We're looking to have a good time here before UFC officially comes back for 2026 next week in the Paramount era. As I said, my name is Chris. With me, as always, is Joe Sunzu and Drake Burden. And we're just going to go through every division. You see the lines up here on the screen. We're going to be using the DraftKings futures if you do want to follow along at home. But the lines will stay here. And we will go ahead and go through every division for you. Before we do that, though, I did just want to say, if you did want to go ahead and subscribe to RotoWire, that's 15% off any subscription. Of course, football playoffs, which you can see going on behind me. I'll go ahead and shut that off for you so it's not distracting. But football playoffs going on now. Baseball just starting up. Big time to get those leagues ready. So baseball as well. Got a bunch of other sports firing. So again, 15% off any subscription. Promo code YouTube15. And before we get to the picks, I just want to go to my co-host first, and what I wanted to get is sort of a general sense of what you guys look for when we're doing future bets like this. I should say first of all that if you are interested in a longer form discussion of things like this, Drake and I, as well as a couple other RotoWire writers, do have our picks up on the site. So that would be rotowire.com, and go to the MMA section of the site there, and you can see my write-up and Drake's write-up as well. I also put them in the YouTube description, so you will see them there. But as I said, I just wanted to go to the boys and just kind of get a little bit of their thought process when it comes to what you're looking for when it comes to a future bet like this, how you go about deciding, and what's the general strat? Are you looking for big underdogs as a general rule, since your money's going to be locked up so long, or do you want to go for more of the safety because your money's going to be locked up so long? So how you play it, let me know, and we'll start with Joe first. Joe, first of all, how was your holidays and New Year, my friend? And what are you looking for just in general when we're looking at future plays here?
Not bad at all. I actually, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I did actually kind of enjoy the hiatus. I've been playing a little bit more NBA and NFL, and I actually, was talking to you guys offline where I actually won some tickets for this next UFC card, and I was highly disappointed about the Nunes Harrison fight being pushed, and how I believe it was probably a bad weight cut and not a neck injury, but I guess we'll see. In terms to answer your question, right? The sportsbook hold is so severe in these future bets. Like, there's actually a term for it, which I forgot. I just heard it the other day. You really you got to almost look at like 5-1 or greater. I think there's one that I looked at where I thought the value was so good that I was going to break my 5-1 rule, and I won't give it away. But and especially with UFC, because they're holding it to the end of the year. Like it's 12/31. So you're looking at, like, if you bet now, you're looking at over an 11-month hold, on getting your money back. So for that reason, and because the season is so long, or I shouldn't say the season, because the UFC technically doesn't have a season, but because you're waiting to the end of the calendar year, you really need some decent odds, and you really need to look at what you bet, and figure out some hedges. Like, it can't be a static bet. Like, you can't just bet it and forget it, right? Like, you need to look at ways that you could perhaps hedge, which is why longer shots, play out well, or, just make additional bets and try to kind of just make money. Look at it as an ROI and not a lottery ticket.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. And I like that rule too. 5-1. That does sound like a pretty good jumping off point there. Drake, what about you? Do you agree, or do you kind of look at this from a different perspective?
No, I think the majority of bettors look at it kind of the same way. Like Joe said, your money's locked up for so long. At the same time, if you're making these types of bets, you generally have that money set aside to place that bet. You don't really have to worry about it at that point. The way that I went specifically with my 4 picks that I made on my article, I kind of just went back and went over the last 2 or 3 years of data and grabbed what I thought would be would line up best for how my, where I thought the picks would line up, which is kind of laid out in my article, but we'll get more into that once we kind of move on here.
And Drake, just to let everybody know, I don't know if Chris did or didn't, but I knew we were doing this show. So as much as I enjoy your writing, I purposely did not want to bias my picks by reading your article. I fully intend to read it after this pod, but I thought about it. I'm like, should I or shouldn't I? I'm like, no, man, I want to go into this with my own thoughts and not be influenced by your awesome writing. So I did not review your article. Chris, I don't know if you looked at Drake's article or not. But
I did, yeah. I kind of had mine locked in, and but unfortunately, I didn't realize that me and Jake had a similar one that we'll get to. But what I did enjoy about the articles is everybody kind of wrote theirs in a different style. Mm-hmm. So if you kind of getting a different, like I like Drake's, especially he kind of just went with bullet points and then gave a summation at the end, which I thought was interesting. So definitely you get a lot of different flavors if you do go read the articles, which we definitely recommend. I do want to say too, I'm going to be watching the chat throughout, and this is going to be a lot more freeform than even the recaps or the preview shows, I should say. If you have one in the chat, one that's pretty big money, and you want us to talk about it, go ahead and post it up, and we'll give it a quick review, and we'll talk about it. Like I said, we are going to go through each division. We're not going to spend equal time on each division. If there's not that strong of a take, we're not going to force it out of the boys here. But what I did want, I wanted, like, even if your take is hot, I want like a really hot one if you have it for each division. If you don't have it, no pressure. But because I just thought that would be fun because there's a couple I was looking at heavyweight specifically where there's one that I think could really kind of be fun. I think Drake is trying to confirm if we have the same pick. So I'm typing there, but I'll go make that round in a second. But let's just kick this off now.
Chris, you want to since we want to go through some of these quicker than others, you want to just start with the 3 female divisions and then, or do you have it queued up another way?
No, I mean I was just gonna go take it as it comes. But we can hit the female divisions first.
Yeah, I mean because I think that's going to be a lot. I mean, at least in my opinion, it's going to be a lot shorter of a conversation.
To
do that. So if you want to start at 115.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
We've got 3 divisions to talk about.
I actually have flyweight as the first one queued up here.
Okay, that's fine. We could do flyweight.
Yeah, we can just start there. So we're looking at flyweight here. We see Valentina minus 150, which of course is, I mean, that's almost too good of a price for her in the sense that nobody's beaten her since Alexa Grasso, and we all kind of see that those 2 fights there is pretty fluky. But when you're looking at this division, so when I was looking at this, just prepping for the show, and I'm not going to go first every time because I don't want to feel like I'm taking the first pick. So I'll go first here, and then we'll kind of round robin it. But the way I was looking at this if I have to make a pick, you saw the success that Fiorot had against her. So I think you need physicality so that Shevchenko can't just bully a fighter. I wouldn't go Fiorot outright, though. I mean, you could in a rematch potentially. I wouldn't take it there just because I think you need to have a little bit better of a striker, which I don't think Fiorot is, at least at this point. So what I was looking at here is Macy Barber. She's on a nice little win streak. She can grapple, she can wrestle, she can strike a little bit, she can keep range, and I think that's kind of a decent shout there, plus 900. She's not always healthy, but when she is, I do think that that she can get on. And again, it's on a nice win streak here. I believe it's a 6-fight win streak for Macy Barber. So I think she's going to get the shot sooner rather than later, maybe. And at plus 900, it's hard to go wrong there. And the only reason I did go there was because I don't really see another place to go. I don't think Natalia Silva is ready. I think maybe she'll get the shot. I don't think she's ready for the win there. And I wouldn't want to go Mena Fierro just because I don't think the striking is up to snuff. So that's going to be my pick for flyweight. I don't think this division is deep enough to go hotter than that. That's just my personal opinion. So I'm going to stick with Macy Barber, but we'll see what the boys think about UFC flyweight, and then we will start with Drake. Drake, how you see it?
Man, this division is just it's Shevchenko's division, and we all know that. And for as long as she stays herself, she will probably beat 99% of these fighters 99 out of 100 times. And that it leads to a bit of a problem in this case where we need to pick somebody to that we think could potentially have the chance to get back there. If I were to take anybody, it would probably be Fiorot. I think that she gave her one of the toughest fights that Shevchenko has had, and I think a second attempt at that would just raise those odds.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Joe, what about you? What do you see for flyweight?
Yeah, so first of all, what I find really interesting about the odds here is that Farrow is plus 450 and Blanchfield is plus 320. And, Farrow, pretty easily beat Blanchfield. And then, Silva's plus 230. So, I'm not betting, minus 150 on Val for my money to be held for a year.
Yeah.
The other issue is Val is 36, 37. She's getting up there in age. Hasn't shown that much, but still, I think Silva might be a little young. I think Blanchfield needs at least another year. So, by default, I would like to see Fierro fight Barber. I wish there was a way to arb the difference between Blanchfield being plus 320 and Fierro being plus 450, because I don't understand that at all. I don't understand who made that line. Farrow is just right under that, that 5-1 rule that I have. I might take a stab on her at plus 450. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I don't hate your Barber play, although I do think that Barber has to fight Blanchfield or Silva first before she gets a shot at Val. I don't think there's anything in it for Val to fight Barber again. I think what she would rather do is fight Silva or Fierro, because she knows she beat Fierro and she probably feels that she could beat Silva. And at her age, I don't know how many fights she's going to have, in a year. She makes a decent amount of money. I don't know if she's going to fight 3 times. So I don't know if Barber's going to get that title fight. Would I be surprised if Val held the title at the end of the year? No, I would not. But if you're going to look for someone to play that looked decent against Val, you go with Fierro. My concern is that, Val can wrestle effort. I mean, that's that. Val is far more well-rounded than Fierro, and I don't know what Fierro is doing to improve her wrestling, which is why I think there's some risk there. So, I mean, my pick would probably be Val to hang on, but there might be some value in Fierro at 4.5 to 1, especially since I believe she's better at the moment than Blanchfield and Silva.
Yeah, no, I agree. The one thing I would say, we've seen it a couple times. These fighters, these high-level fighters who have major wrestling leaks, when their time comes around again, generally we see them improved. Alex Pereira, Cyril Gane, I know that fight was short, but the only couple takedowns we saw, he did improve. So I feel like these high-level fighters, you can kind of bank on a little bit of improvement. So that makes it kind of interesting there. But no, I do agree, and I agree that she probably has to fight at least one more before getting it. But I do think she's going to get I do think she gets the shot this year.
Really? You think Barber gets the shot this year?
Yeah, I know. Absolutely, I do. I just don't think there's enough in that division to go around. So
I'll bet you right now she doesn't get it, because I don't see how she could jump over Silva.
Well, she's not going to jump over Silva. We're talking about the year. So
or Blanchfield. She's got to actually, like I said, there's nothing in it for Val to risk her title against Macy Barber, unless she's forced to fight her. And I think, Val could argue that Silva's ranked higher, Blanchfield's ranked higher, Farrow's ranked higher. Like, so why would she risk fighting Macy Barber? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, she's not going to fight. She's not going to fight for. They're not going to do rematches in this division, especially since that fight was terrible. And what I would say to your general point, though, is there's no incentive for Val to do anything except retire. Like, why would she?
Well, because she makes a lot of money for each. Well,
fight. No, I understand, but I'm just saying, why would she pick and choose opponents at this? Like, do you really think she cares if she fights Natalia?
I do, because you make more money coming back from a win than you do coming back from a loss. Even though her contract right now, she probably gets the same amount of money. It's just if she wants to fight twice, she wants to win the first time because she's going to make more money in the second fight coming back as a champion versus a contender. It's all economics in the UFC. That's why I don't think Barber's going to get a shot this year. I think Barber's got to go against Blanchfield, which I don't know that she could beat. I don't think she can beat, and I think she's got to fight Silva before she could get the Val. But I guess we'll see, though. I'm willing to just have a straight up bet with you, like a stupid bet. It doesn't have to be any money. Like whoever, and she doesn't even have to win. She just has to get the fight. Like, and whoever wins that bet has to wear the hat that the other person, wants them to wear on the air.
Okay, yeah, the dread. I mean, maybe, but the one thing I think that, yeah, I mean, okay, you're right. And Blanchfield, for some reason, I thought that they had fought before, but they didn't. Because what I was going to say is, with the Farrell thing, I don't think they're doing rematches. You're right about Blanchfield, but I don't know, man. Depending on how many times they fight in a year, I could see her getting. I could still see her getting the shot at the end of the year. But you're right.
So we got to bet then, right?
Well, what do you want to bet?
The bet is whoever wins the bet, the other person has to wear whatever hat they provide to that person on the air for one of our shows. So that's so. In other words, if I win, I have to buy the hat.
Right.
So you have to buy the hat, but we have to wear whatever hat you send us. Whatever.
And hat. You also have to preface that by saying she cannot get that fight by being a backup.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, yeah, that's
it has to be a scheduled bout. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, absolutely. So look at this. We got some early action going, and it's all happening. Before we move on, I just wanted to say, Francel Brito checking in. Francel actually works with me over at the customer service side, RotoWire. So good dude there. Francel, thanks for checking in, man. Appreciate it. And definitely, if you see any of your takes that you want to put in there, any plus money takes, you can put them up and we'll discuss them. So thanks for hanging out, man. And we're going to move on to the next thing, which is okay. So where do we want to go? We just want to go to another women's division.
Do another. Let's knock out the women's division. Do either bantamweight or strawweight, whatever.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do bantamweight and kind of get it over with.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think we're going all the way down in that case. La-da-dee, la-da-da. Okay, here's UFC bantamweight, and as you can tell, there's not much going on, and the thing that's really precluding you from, like, I would say Nunes, but how do you know what Nunes is going to do after that fight with Kayla Harrison? She can just vacate the title again and leave, and then you're out your bet. So I mean, Valentina Shevchenko, I don't even think there's been talk of her going there, so I'm not sure what that's about. Norma Dumont maybe just had the win over Ketlin Vieira, which was kind of nip and tuck. And then everything else is just kind of, I mean, Alice Pereira's here. Carol Host is here. So, I mean, I guess if we have to take a hot pick, I guess. Oh, I'm sorry. I said I wouldn't go first. So, Joe, what would you pick through the bones in this mess.
Yeah, so there's no bets here, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you ask
I've
me,
got one.
I mean, to me, Nunes is the best fighter, the best bantamweight, right? But
Yeah.
you make a very good point. Is she going to want to fight again after she beats Harrison, right? And I am not laying plus 100 on with the chance that she abdicates, So I'm not betting minus 120 on Harrison because I don't think she beats Nunes. That doesn't leave a lot left. So I'm going to actually turn it over to Drake because I'm really curious who he sees that actually has a chance.
I am curious as well, Drake. Who you got?
This pick will be popular, I promise you. But
Okay.
if it's not Harrison and it's not Nunes, because I would also be all for Nunes, I'd be all over it. My pick is going to be Eileen Perez.
Really?
Huh.
And I know there's plenty of people that are going to have that same exact bet.
10-1. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't see it, but it's 10. At least it's 10-1.
It's
Well, I
a
mean-
hot take, and she gets better with every fight. She can wrestle, she can strike. So I mean, you never know. This is the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it just because it's an active fighter who kind of has momentum in the division. And who else? What other name do you see there that fits that description? I mean, Jocelyn Edwards a little bit, but otherwise, I mean, Yana Santos has put together some wins, but she isn't anywhere in the division. I wouldn't say. Raquel Pennington, no, she had her chance. The one thing is that they might keep trying to give Juliana Pena chances. I don't know why, but they might. So that's something like maybe Eileen Perez is going to have to beat her at a certain point. But it's an interesting shout. So Joe said no bets, and I agree. So just for that rationale, and again, this is not like a take that I am particularly strong on. I'll go Juliana Pena just because I think she's got some just for opportunity's sake, because she's got some of that Holly Holm going on where they like giving her shots for some reason. So I'll go Juliana Pena plus 650.
Hey, Chris, before you move on to strawweight, I'm sorry, I meant to give this. I have a what if play. I have a what if play for flyweight. Okay. So in my opinion, the best flyweight fighter in the world is not in the UFC. The best flyweight fighter in the world right now is Dakota Ditcheva.
Right.
Now Dakota Ditcheva fights for PFL. I don't know what her contract status is.
I think
would be Adam Newsom because she's actually trained. She's trained at his camp. But if by any chance Ditcheva comes to the UFC and gets fast tracked, there's no odds. You can't bet her right now. But I would jump on any type of reasonable plus money play if Ditcheva was to get into the UFC and got fast tracked.
Yeah. No, I agree. I actually have a similar play coming up.
I love watching that girl fight. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly love watching her fight.
She's a monster, and if she did get in, that would
and
be.
She's
something
getting better on the ground too. I mean, she came up as a striker, but like she's won a few fights by choking fighters out, which I mean, her fight against Santos was just awesome. Like the whole thing with the lipstick in the ring. I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my what if play. Watch, see if somehow she gets in the UFC, and if she does, any type of reasonable plus money.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's a good shout, and there have to be challenges for that division. If she did get to the UFC, she would definitely be fast tracked. And opportunity is a big thing when you're looking at these. So we would definitely have to keep an eye out there. But just generally, I think we're going to move on from the UFC bantamweight now. That we may have spent more time than it was worth, and we'll just move right up to strawweight here. Let's see. Move right on to strawweight. Here we go. We're gonna let. I have my pick. This was actually a write up for me. So we're gonna go ahead and let Drake start this one. Drake, who are you seeing at women's strawweight here?
So I didn't. If I was going to include a female division in my article, which I didn't, it was going to be this one, and I didn't because Wei Lee's plus 150 just isn't that appealing to me. But if she does come back down, which I assume she's going to, and she does get the fight with Dern, I think she just murders her. And there's nobody in this division that I can see taking it away from Whaley unless somebody like Fatima Klein can really learn how to adjust her ground game better. But we've already seen her against everybody else. So, I mean, for me, it's just Whaley.
Yeah, no, I agree. And actually, I did write it up for that. I mean, I think it's great. I actually think it's great value at plus 150. I think she could stand to be like a small favorite, really. If she does come back down, and again, there's no reason why we don't think that she will. In fact, John Wood said that's Whaley's belt. He just had an interview previous week, actually, beginning of January. It sounds for all the world like she's coming back down to strawweight. She certainly isn't going to want to stay at flyweight. I can't imagine. And she showing no signs of retiring. So, I mean, I think she's going to be there. I did have a hotter one for this division, and it was Jillian Robertson. Drake talked about ground game. Her striking has been improving gradually, and she's just a killer on the ground. So if she can sort of get the wrestling up and take it to a fighter who like Whaley, who is, I think, who we imagine is going to be champion of that division. I mean, I could see it, and plus 4,000. I mean, she's on a nice win streak herself. She's really, as I said, improving in that striking. And let me just pull it up. Actually, so not a win streak. Let me correct myself, but it's I mean, absent the loss to Fiorot, it's let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 10 of her last 11. I'm sorry, no, 11 of her last 12, absent the loss to Fiorot. So, if it's not going to be Wiley, if it's not going to be Wiley and it's not going to be Dern, I think Robertson has the best shot. And again, plus 4,000, hard to go wrong for a couple bucks if you do see it. What about you, Drake? What do you see for this division?
Joe.
Sorry, Joe.
That's all right. Pretty much what you guys said. I mean, I do think that if Whaley comes down, it's her division, right?
Yeah.
It didn't seem like her experiment at 125 went all that well. My concern with Robertson is I don't think she's physical enough, to beat Whaley or even Dern. If this is a reach, okay, if Whaley for some reason doesn't come back down, I do think that Suarez can beat Dern. Suarez is 5-1, which is right on the fringe of my what I like to lay. But I wouldn't bet it right at the moment. I would wait to see if Whaley is going to come down or not. And if she is going to come down, there's no play on Suarez because we know Suarez can't beat Whaley.
Right.
But I do feel that Suarez could beat pretty much anybody else in the division, including Dern. So we're going to wait and see what happens. Like, God forbid Whaley gets hurt and is out. I would hop on Suarez at 5-1.
Yeah, I don't really know what to think of Suarez at this point. I mean, I know
too off injured, too old.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with any of that.
Yeah, it's true, and I mean, I think she can look better, but I don't really think that. I mean, plus 500, but if I'm going to reach here, I'm going to really reach just because I don't think anybody else is that viable. But let's go ahead and move on. We have cleared the women's division, so let's move on. Let's go back up to the top here, just because.
I think it'll be easiest just to scroll down now from there.
Yeah. Okay.
Heavyweight.
So we're just gonna start a heavyweight, and when we're looking at heavyweight, I think we have to operate with the assumption that Tom Aspinall is not coming back this year. That would be the assumption I'm operating from.
Is he hurt? Is he injured that badly?
Yes.
Well, he's not back to training yet. They keep
According
saying.
to the doctors. They said he may never fight again.
Yeah, well,
Really?
does anybody remember the name of the syndrome they said that he had?
I don't remember, but I can promise anybody that a finger knuckle deep in your eye socket is not good for you.
Yeah.
So there goes those people that said he was faking it.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so to me that kind of makes this division the Wild West. So again, I won't start. Actually I will start this one because you guys. So I'm going to take the easy one here, and I'm going to say Cyril Gane plus 400, just because, like I said again, I think at high levels the wrestling gets better. I don't think Volkov will be able to wrestle mug him this time around, and if Aspinall is not there, I think Gane is by far skill for skill the best in the division. I don't put too much stock in a guy like Waldo Cortez Acosta. I mean, it's great that he got a little bit more aggressive. I still don't think he's a skill fighter. I think he's a tough guy who hits hard, and that can carry you pretty far at heavyweight. But here is my thing at heavyweight, and I saw this down here while we were prepping, and I just had to laugh because and look, a lot of things have to break right. A lot of things have to break right. But Gable Stevenson is at plus 25,000. So now it's the Wild West, right? It's their star for attention. He's been making waves about, he knocked the guy out and then took him down, yada, yada, yada. If he gets into the UFC, say, I don't know, February or March, and he has like 2 fights that he wins very quickly, he could get a title shot off those 2 fights. I'm pretty confident of it. Again, they need things at heavyweight. They need people at heavyweight to make it exciting, sort of justify the division's existence at this point. And again, if there's no Aspinall, I just don't see what they're gonna do. Maybe they feed Stevenson a guy like Thomas Peterson. He runs him over. Maybe his next fight he wins in the second round by stoppage, and then maybe they give him a title shot. Again, lots of things have to break right. Plus 25,000. It looks pretty tempting just for a little bit of fun there. But those are my
250 to 1, guys, for those who
yeah. But those are my picks, and we'll go to Joe. I think we're starting with Joe. How do you see this division?
Okay, so I need to watch that Volkov Gane fight again. I mean, I'm a huge Volkov fan, I'll admit that, but my pick is at 11 to 1 for the next heavyweight champ, and that is Alex Pereira.
Oh yeah.
I think he comes up. I think he easily, I think he'll come up, and he could. I love the odds at 11 to 1. I think he could be very competitive against both Volkov and Gane. I'm not paying any attention to John Jones because he's turned into like an influencer type fighter. Like he's only going to take a big money fight. I don't think he's an actual fighter. And if Aspinall is hurt really that badly, I'm gonna take a shot with Pereira. I think with Aspinall not fighting, I think he's 11 to 1. It's worth putting some money on him at 11 to 1. And I think he could be a 2-division champ. I think he could be a light heavyweight champ and a heavyweight champ. I think that's where he makes the most money. He's getting, look, these guys are all in their upper 30s, so I don't think there's any particular advantage, youth-wise to any of these guys. Heavyweights do tend to fight older, right? So, yeah, I'm going to take Pereira at 11 to 1.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's been talking. Well, I've been talking about coming up, so definitely not a bad shout there. Drake, what about you? You're muted, sir.
You're muted, Drake.
Scroll up on the odds a little bit.
Yeah. 1 second.
I don't hate the Pereira play, But I'm gonna go back to the well with a guy that I was super high on until he lost 2 consecutive fights, and he did lose to Volkov once. But I feel like if he fought him again, he would do better. I'm going Sergey Pavlovich.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I could see. I mean, look, it wasn't all that long ago that he was the most feared guy in the sport, and then kind of dried up. But I agree. I mean, he does seem a little bit more tentative now, and maybe that hurts him. But I agree. I think it's a fair shout.
He is only 33 still, so I mean, he is younger, like for the division, anyways.
Yeah, no, that's it's definitely a fair point, and could see it again. Heavyweight is really, I mean, there's a lot of mixing and matching that's going to go on until the chips fall. So um, it'll be an interesting thing to see for sure. But next we'll move on to the light heavyweight division. Light heavyweight, kind of again. Well, it's funny if you're like Joe and you're considering that Pereira is moving up, then it's gonna be interesting to see who comes and takes that crown. They have Chimaev there, which I find kind of interesting. As far as I know, he hasn't talked about coming up. Has anybody heard that?
I was so surprised to see him there, and
Yeah.
less money. That's
Yeah, doesn't make much sense to me. I guess what they're considering is that he gasses out, so they think he would want to come up. But again, I don't know about that.
I think they would have to offer him a shit ton of money.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't make much sense to me. So, but bearing that in mind, and I am interested to hear Joe's answer too. But we'll get to him second, since he doesn't think Pereira is going to stay there. I'm curious to hear what you guys have for light heavyweight. So, Drake, how do you see the division?
so. This pick is based off of Alex Pereira moving up,
Yeah.
and you are going to absolutely hate it.
Okay.
Give me Bogdan Guskov, baby, plus
Oh my
5,000.
God.
Go.
You're gonna take a 1-round fighter to be champion of a division?
Hey, all it takes is a little work on cardio, and he's one of the best fighters in the division.
Oh my goodness.
All it takes. That round 1 against Blachowicz, he dominated him. So, I mean, like I said, all it takes is a little bit of cardio, and now Guskov is one of the best fighters in the division.
I mean, all right. We do differ on him. He's definitely got some power. But I don't know. That's an interesting one. But let's go to Joe. Let's go to Joe, because I don't want to trash too heavy. But let's go to Joe. Joe, how do you see the light heavyweight division here?
Look, I think Pereira is going to be a 2-division champ. I don't think he's going to give up light heavyweight. I think the value is he can go up and say that he held, at different times 3 belts, and he's a 2-division champ in 3 different divisions. So I think and for that reason, I don't really see a bet here. I mean, if I was going to go with the fact that for some reason Pereira decides to abdicate, never really been a big Carlos Ulberg guy. He's too pretty. I don't like fighters that pretty. I don't hate Drake's play at 50-1 for a little taste. Murzakanov, 25-1.
Stop right there for a second.
Yeah.
I love Murzakanov, especially in this spot and at plus 2,500.
Yeah.
My only concern is just his height. He's so much smaller than everybody.
Yeah.
He finds a way to get in and knock people out, but eventually, it's going to be too big of an issue. Anyways, continue.
I mean, honestly, here's what I would do. I mean, I'm not planning on making any bets here, because I do think Pereira is going to look to be a 2-division champ, and he'll be active enough where he's not forced to abdicate. But if I was going to, I would actually spread some money around a few different fighters here. I might try to work out a play where if it's either Ulberg, Gustav, or Murzakanov, maybe even throw in Prakash is too low at 6-1. I would maybe look to take 3 or 4 fighters at higher odds, spread some money around, and look at some ROI. But again, I really am strongly of the belief that Pereira is going to stick around.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you guys kind of covered it. I was looking at Mirzakhanov too, but Drake makes a good point that he is a little small, but that he's faster than everybody too. He's more
Yes,
agile
he's
than most of the
definitely is.
fighters in this division. I'll just say Pereira retains. I did a little bit of contrary. I actually don't think he moves up. I actually think it would kind of be a bad idea for him to move up.
I also agree with that. I do not want to see him at a heavyweight. I really don't.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about. I mean, I know he was a big middleweight, but we're talking about two divisions ultimately, and the wrestlers in this division. I mean, there aren't a ton of them, but the ones that there are, I think, would really give him trouble at that point. So, I would say Pereira. Otherwise, I'll go Mirzakhanov. But Drake's criticism definitely noted. But we will move on next, and we move to all the way down, and we move to welterweight. Welterweight is interesting because
You need to let me start with this one.
Drake will start, but it's very wide open to me, and this is another one where I look at the minus 200 for Islam, and I kind of scratch my head a little bit. He hasn't faced a grappler up at this weight class yet. I mean, the fight that he had was a guy who we knew had trouble with wrestling, had cleaned it up against Bilal Muhammad, but faced another grappler and just went toast another strong grappler. That's not all he did. He did some nice things with leg kicks, but I mean, there's a lot of strong grapplers in this division. The guy that I want to take, the one that Drake wants to take, names will be redacted for now, but I just don't trust Islam in this division. I still don't. I would have to see more of it. But we will go to. Okay. Well, I think we know what how Joe feels, but we will go to Drake first. Drake, who do you see in this division taking the belt?
You telling me that Islam is going to retain?
Yes.
You're out of your mind. I think he retains against everybody about the person that I'm about to name, and this only comes with an asterisk. If Rakhmonov returns early 2026 and can fight again later in the year, he would have that title shot. Now, it's a risky bet because he has to fight early in 2026 in order to fight late in 2026. The plan is to have him. He's looking to fight early, so this is why I took him as my bet. I do not think Islam gets close to beating Shavkat. Absolutely not. Shavkat will decimate everybody in this division when he's fully healthy. We've already seen it. He was hurt in the Gary fight, and he still beat Gary. There's nobody that's going to take this guy down.
Yeah,
I need more than 5-1. I don't hate your logic. I just need more than 5-1.
All right,
I don't think 5-1 is high enough.
So Joe, if you do think Islam retains, you would lay minus? If you had to make a pick, you would.
No, I would not. I don't.
Okay.
I would. There's no bet at minus 200 where my money is tied up for an entire year.
Right.
The only way this would work is I believe DraftKings actually lets you parlay future plays.
Yeah.
So the only way I would even consider using Islam here would be to kind of fill out a parlay. I wouldn't bet him straight at minus 200.
Right. No, I understand. Yeah. So I'm going, and that was my only well, not my only reason. I did like my guy better, but the reason why I didn't take Shavkat was because he's looking to come back February, March, which I think is those were the early estimates. I think that's optimistic at this point because we haven't even heard anything that he's training or anything. So the way I'm thinking about it, I'm not really factoring Shavkat in right now. I don't think he makes it back. But if he does, I still think ultimately he would fall to my pick, who is Ian Gary at plus 500. I think Ian Gary is the most well-rounded fighter in the division. If we're factoring in defense too, he's a hard guy to hit, hard guy to hurt. He's very in and out. He uses his size well. And that's another thing in relation to Islam is you have a big guy who can also grapple. I just don't see Islam faring pretty well with that. So I like Gary a lot. I think he's had the hardest strength of schedule of all the guys in this division, fighting Shavkat and fighting Bilal and fighting Carlos Pratas. So I do think he's had the toughest strength schedule. I think he's the most well-rounded when all comes told, and I like the plus 500. But again, I can see three or four guys getting title shots potentially. So this division is kind of wide open in that respect, and I do think it's going to be a fun watch to see how that develops this year. But we'll move on now, and we're going to go to
lightweight.
Lightweight, yes, and we got a lot of fun little contenders here. Obviously, we know that Ilya Taporia is I don't know what to take about this, but somebody posted a tweet where somebody asked him when he was going to fight, and he said April through June was the time frame that he gave. But who knows, how much to deal with that. We know that he's dealing with a bunch of marital stuff and other kinds of stuff. I think a potential what do you want to say, like an assault charge potentially. So who knows when he comes back, and so that really makes you wonder where you want to go with this. And we'll flip it over to Joe really quickly. Where are you going in this lightweight division? We know the Sarukian's still in the doghouse in terms of.
So again, there's no play at Taporia minus 200. What was that?
I'm sorry, you were muted. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm good. Yeah. So there's no play minus 200 that I could see.
Right.
Like again, I suspect Taporia is going to be out longer than people think, but like, if Taporia does not come back, you guys are probably going to hate this pick, but I like Max at 7-1. I like Max at 7-1. I think, if he's proven that he can beat Gaethje. I don't think much of Pimlet at all. I think Pimlet's going to have his hands full with Gaethje. Anybody who lays 3-1 on Pimlet, I think, is crazy. I am a little worried about Tsarukyan. But Max at 7-1. I see a little bit of value there personally. So, but that all is dependent on, when Taporia is going to come back. If he's going to come back in 2026, we don't know. So, my that's of all the guys, in the contender roles, like less than 10-1. First of all, I don't see anyone higher than 10-1 having a legitimate shot here, but I would go with Max at 7-1.
Yeah, no, I think somebody else thinks that's a pretty decent bet. Drake, who is your pick for this division?
Again, I didn't read Jake's article, so I had no idea.
Max Holloway. Now, the reason for it is I do not think Taporia fights this year, which leaves the belt with either Gaethje or Pimlet, and I don't care which one of them has it because Max beats both of them. Max fights in March against Oliveira. He beats him. He gets his title shot. He's got his belt back. For me, 7-1 is just perfect.
I agree. I think it's funny because I was gonna say before I kicked it over to Joe, like how long can Arman Tsarukyan stay in the doghouse? I mean, eventually you have to let your best fighter fight for the title, right? Especially if Taporia is not going to be there. It's just hard for me to believe that he wouldn't get a shot at some point. So I almost want to pick Tsarukyan at plus 200, just because I don't see too much other viability there. Like Max is Max, but and I do agree.
Max.
Well, I agree that his prospects go higher if Taporia doesn't fight, but I don't know. Like I still see. He does beat Gaethje, but that fight got a little closer down the stretch. I guess Max would be a viable option there too. Yeah. I tend to view Paddy Pimblett a little bit higher than you guys do. He impressed me during that Gaethje performance.
I've got him winning against Gaethje. So
I'm sorry, not the Gaethje performance. I meant the Michael Chandler performance. I thought he was a little bit better defensively too. We'll see how that shakes out. I do like Max Holloway. I think there's a lot of viability there, but just to get on my own pick, I'll say Tsarukyan. Dana's heart melts and he finally wakes up, and Tsarukyan gets a shot at plus 200 and takes that title. But let's move on to our next division now, and it is featherweight. Featherweight definitely interesting. We have Volkanovski there, and Volkanovski I think our first champion that we've seen so far that's plus money. at the plus 170 mark there. Obviously, a lot of things go into that. The age, the fact that it looks like he is slowing down, even if he has retained the belt and got it back against Lopez. There, we know that they're lined up for the rematch coming up shortly after. Looking at this division, I think my pick has to be fairly straightforward, and it has to be Laurent Murphy. I just think that he's on such a roll. He hasn't lost. He's such a good game planner for this division. He can take what you give him, and he can sort of work around it. I mean, Aaron Pico was kind of having his way with him in the first round. Laurent Murphy reasons out that he's just walking in on straight lines and crushes him with that spinning back elbow. I like the way Laurent Murphy thinks through things, and Volkanovski, I think, clearly he's lost a step, even if he's the champion now. So I think Laurent Murphy at plus 300 is the play there. But we're gonna go to Drake first. Drake, I think I know how you see the division, but why don't you let the people know how you see it?
It's not hard to figure out who I've got holding this one. There's a few reasons behind it. I do have Diego Lopez holding the belt. And I think fighting Volkanovski for any fighter aside from Tapuria, because he just kind of waylaid him, it's very difficult. Volkanovski is one of the best fighters we've ever seen, and so when you go into a fight with him, it takes a while to measure him up and figure how to get in on him, how to hit him. Lopez did that in rounds 4 and 5, and if he continues that into the beginning of the fight this time, I think he knocks Volkanovski out. And then for me, I just don't think there's anybody that's going to take him down this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good shout. The problem is if Lopez loses again, even if it's not against Volkanovski at some point, he's going to be kind of walled off from the title picture for a while. So I think he has to beat Volkanovski in order to get a chance for that bet to go, and then he's got to hold it the whole year, which of course is hard if let's say he fights 2 more times, which he probably will if he's fighting so early in the year.
That's why in my article it says this is a bet on immediate outcome plus division stability, because that's literally what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I agree. I think Laurent Murphy is still going to be the guy. My thoughts on Diego Lopez. A little too kind of a throwback guy who just hits really hard and is good at jiu-jitsu. And that's kind of, to me, I don't think that kind of skill set really plays to be a title holder in the big 2026. So for me, it's still going to be Laurent Murphy, but could definitely see Lopez, especially since number one, a lot of the names on this list are kind of either walled off for a title shot or just kind of wouldn't get the shot this year. Like even if Steve Garcia fights well, I don't think he would ever be in a position to get a title shot this year. So just stuff like that. There only are a few immediate contenders that I'm seeing that are in position for a title, and I'm going with Laurent Murphy. But what about you, Joe? What do you see for featherweight here?
Funny, because I do think that the favorite should be Lopes, and at plus 200, I don't like those odds. I don't think 3-1 on Murphy is enough. So you mentioned the guy I'm going to take a flyer with.
Who's that?
Garcia?
Steve Garcia, 10-1.
Oh,
like he's right up there at the odds I like. There is a risk. There's a risk that he doesn't get the shot, but at 10-1, those are the kind of odds I like. I mean, I really do like those odds. I don't think O'Malley is going to come up. I mean, I think eventually he's going to have to come up, but not this year. I think, O'Malley versus Garcia would be a pretty cool fight, actually. But I like the winning streak Garcia's been on. He seems to be getting better. 10-1. Those are the kind of odds I like. So I do think though that if you're going to play Garcia at 10-1, you hedge by betting the plus 200 on Lopes, because I think Lopes is the one that's going to hold it. But you got Garcia at 10-1.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't see that he's in a position to get a title shot right now. I mean, if he unless you think he's going to Cody Garbrandt and fight 4 times next year or this year.
I don't think he has to. I just think there has to be a bit of a shakeup. And if there's a bit of a shakeup, I think he could fight 3 times and maybe his third fight would be a title fight. I guess we'll see.
It could definitely happen. I mean, he doesn't have a fight lined up yet for this year, so
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it just doesn't feel like he's got momentum in that direction right now. But the plus 1,000 and the run he's on, absolutely viable for the shot there. But right now, we're gonna move on down our list.
Well, what a game we have in Denver right now. Holy cow.
He just tied it up 30-30 to go.
What a game.
Wow, really? See, I shut mine off because I didn't want the screen to pick up my screen.
It's 30-30. Denver Buffalo just kicked the field goal to tie it with 5 seconds left.
I'm gonna track on ESPN.com here. Just give me one second. Okay.
Matt Prater just hit a 50-yard field goal to tie it up, and Matt Prater was a longtime kicker for Denver.
Yeah.
So.
All right, but now we're following that.
Now we're gonna go to OT unless there's a run back on the return.
Can't see what Jerry said. It's just like cut off.
You got him now? Joey checking in.
Look
at the panel.
Joey?
Yeah. What's up, Joey? Thanks for checking in. But right now we're gonna go down the list, and it's gonna be. I'm trying to scroll down in my screen share. It's men's bantamweight. I will be honest. Kind of took the easy road here, just because I think the performance we saw Peter Yan put on against Merab Dvalishvili, I think, was one of the best performances we've ever seen against the guy who was previously thought to be unbeatable. And not only did Yan beat him, Yan made it look pretty easy doing so. I think a Yan that has fixed his cardio, which he seems to have. I mean, Dvalishvili was breathing harder than he was at the end of the fight. Now, in his defense, I do think we mentioned it on here, but I don't think any of us took it as seriously as we should have, that it was the fourth fight and the fourth weight cut. That being said, I think Yan is pound for pound the best fighter, one of the best fighters in the sport when he's healthy. Just all the skills that he has. And it's still even money. I'm not paying any juice. So I like him to go all the way through. I really do. I think Umar is another guy who's kind of, we saw that sometimes he just has to revert to being wrestling heavy, as we saw in his last fight. And I think Yan has that covered now. I really do. So I think Peter Yan is maybe ready to go on a generational run in this division. So I got to pick him to be the winner. And then, there's no real strong secondary pick because I think it's all contained in the first three names there. Like, I think it's either going to be Yan, Merab, or Umar, and it's just going to be sort of a round robin for all those guys. Maybe they'll trade the belts back a couple of times. Maybe it'll be. But I do think that the title picture begins and ends with them. So I'm going to pick one of those names, and it's going to be Yan. But we will see how the boys feel. And I think are we starting Drake this time? Or are we starting Joe? I forget where we were. But okay,
yeah,
we'll start.
Drake, you could take it.
Okay, we'll start Drake.
Mine's going to be quick. We all know my love for Dvalishvili. We know my love for Yan. I went with neither one of them.
Yeah.
Simply because I worry about how Dvalishvili bounces back. And then with Yan, it's just a matter of, can he control Umar? And Umar almost beat Merab, which obviously was a big concern. It's tough. I wanted to go with, we didn't want to make I didn't want to make the obvious picks. So I went with Umar because that was the highest that I could go. Like you said, it's those three names. So it's tough. I like Umar. Does he get a shot this year? He should. But it's, that's kind of just where I'm sitting at. I think Umar has the skill set to beat. He's got the skill set to beat everybody.
Yeah.
But all three of these guys, I feel like if there was a tier setting, they're all the way up in tier S. Everybody is literally down in B because there's no way they can push these three. It's not even close. So it's these three guys, and then it's okay, which one of you is going to hold it?
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. The only reason I went against Umar was because if we're talking about a wrestler who gets tired, we just saw Yan make a wrestler tired. And so that was kind of my thought process there. But I agree. I think it's the big three in this division for sure. But let's see what Joe thinks. Joe, how you see this fight?
Yeah, I don't
Well,
really see any betting.
division.
I mean, I want to see Umar fight Jan. I think that'd be a really cool fight. I mean, if I have to make a pick, I'll pick Umar at plus 250, but I don't really see enough here to make a play. And I honestly don't see anybody outside the top three right now. The top three being Jan, Marab, and Umar, kind of jumping into contention. And, lest we see something surprising, I mean, I would go with those three. And like, I think you used the word round robin. That's probably where we're at. I think, O'Malley, at 8-1, there's no value there. We've already seen him get beat twice by Marab. So I'll pick Umar. I don't love it as a bet at plus 250, but that'll be my pick.
Okay, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened to my screen here.
It's toggling.
Huh?
It's toggling.
Oh, is it? Okay, let me see.
There you go.
Oh no, I got it back. I'm just going.
Okay.
Just getting over. But it said there were no bets available. I had to refresh the page. I don't know why, but okay, we're here now.
I'll go first for flyweight because I have a quasi hot take.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. We're gonna.
Okay, so for flyweight, this is not the hot take part. I would probably go with Cop at plus 500. He's kind of right at the fringe of where I would want to bet.
Right.
But here's my hot take, and again, this is really off the cuff. I've not looked into this at all. I don't know if it's even conceivably possible. But I think Marab could dominate at 125. Now, again, I don't know if he could drop 10 pounds. I don't know if it's ever. I mean, we've seen guys like TJ Dillashaw go down. He almost killed himself. But we've seen guys drop down to 125. Not too many. But, if Marab wanted to, have on his legacy a two-division champ, I don't see anyone that could beat him at 125, especially considering how big he's going to be when he goes into the fight. So that's my quasi-hot take. Again, this is totally off the cuff. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if he's got the physiology to be able to cut 10 pounds. But, it's something that I think would be pretty cool to watch. Otherwise, I'll go with the 5-1 on Miguel Cop.
I mean, he's crazy enough to try, but I was looking to see if you saw me scrolling there. I was looking to see if they had even bothered to put him there, but
no, there's no current odds on it.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Has he ever fought at 125? We should.
I don't think so. I mean, anything's possible. Everybody loves to move divisions. I don't think. Look, if he loses again, maybe he gets scared and feels like he needs to. But I don't know. But it would definitely be interesting if he was there, if he could do it without losing a leg or something. I'm going to go ahead and take my pick since I'm pretty sure it's unique from Drake's. I went with Koji Horiguchi at the plus 800 there. I think that they didn't bring Koji Horiguchi back here to sit on the shelf, especially if he's having the command performances like he did in his debut fight there. He's fought at bantamweight for a long time now, which means he's probably going to have a strength advantage over a lot of this division. His only real loss, because he got back his losses to Sergio Pettis and Kai Asakura.
So I like that pick. I totally forgot about Horiguchi.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that play.
So his only real blemish in the past decade. What is going? I think my page keeps refreshing. I don't know why though. But
you're logged out too, so maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, maybe. So we'll leave that there for now. But his only real loss in the past decade is Patchy Mix up a weight class, and there are certainly no wrestlers like that in flyweight. He's fighting Amir Albazi to start the year. Amir Albazi is currently number 6, and that's in February. And if he beats Albazi, especially in a dominating fashion, then I could definitely see with Pantoja out, maybe they do Cop for the title, and then the Cop versus Van, and then Horiguchi faces the winner, and it might just be that simple. And I think Horiguchi's got the skills to take it down. So Horiguchi plus 800 is my pick. and I'll vamp a little bit while I get back here. It's gonna.
I don't hate that play, by the way. I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, no, I was kind of surprised he was so low. Quite frankly.
By the way, I did check, and you actually on DraftKings, you can parlay futures plays.
Right.
So like if you wanted to pick one or more in different divisions, you can actually parlay those.
All right. Yeah. No. Definitely good to know. Drake, what about you? How are you seeing the flyweights here?
So I originally wanted to put this into my article, and I chose not to because I didn't want to bet against Van. But had I made my pick was also Manel Kopp. I don't know what it is. Kopp has always been an interesting fighter. He was a star outside the UFC, he started off slow, and now he's almost built all that star power back up. So, I mean, Kopp's dangerous. I love Van. I love everything that he does, the way he fights, how aggressive he is. But I mean, this division is probably the most open men's division.
Yeah.
I feel like any guy in any of these top 10, 11, 12 guys could, conceivably have the belt at the end of the year. So it definitely makes it tough. But I also love your pick, and I'm really looking forward to his next fight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's sort of a shame that we can't factor Pantoja into this at all. I'm really kind of shocked at most of these champion odds. Pantoja at -120 when we have no idea we saw a headline that he was back in the gym already, but who knows how that goes if he has a setback.
He's back in the gym, but he's not medically cleared. So you can be in him all you want, but unless they clear you, you can't fight or train for a fight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. True. And, if I was going to take my really hot take here, I go for my boy, Charles Johnson, but I think it's a situation where even if he goes on a run and wins a lot this year, he's not going to have enough fights to get to a title shot. But maybe next year for my boy, Charles Johnson. But let's see. Is that it? How many divisions we got left? That's it. We're good to go. That's right, because we did the women's divisions. All right, so those are our picks, and I had a lot of fun doing that. I think that's definitely worthwhile. We'll definitely watch those throughout the year. We have a silly hat bet out of it, so we'll certainly keep that in mind. And if anybody has anything in the chat where they want to say, hey, what about this person? We'll entertain that now. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Otherwise, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Of course,
I have one more statement to make since this is our first show for the year. So, for those of you that are regularly tune into our pods, I made an offer to both Chris and Drake where if the UFC was to do a card in Thailand, that I would cover their airfare. So we could all go out to do, and that's, by the way, I don't give away too much personal information here, but my wife is Thai, so I've been to Thailand about 30 times, and that would be like one of my bucket list things would be to go to Thailand to watch a UFC card. So for those of you, get a letter writing campaign going to Dana White, for a UFC event in Bangkok would be my choice in Bangkok, and I will flip Chris and Drake a ticket, and I don't know if that's going to be enough to convince Chris to go, so I will also throw in hotel.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, no, now
you had me at flight, so
I will cover airfare and hotel for you guys to come to Bangkok to cover a UFC event.
Absolutely, yeah, no, that's hard to turn down an invitation like that. So if there was ever a UFC event in Bangkok.
No, it will be economy, guys. So you guys will have to pay if you want to upgrade.
That's all right. That's right.
You guys are both small enough to be okay in economy.
I'll hang out in the fuselage if.
Okay.
But all right, no, this is a fun show. Appreciate it, guys. We'll be checking in on this throughout the year, I'm sure. And again, if you were interested in my article, Drake's article, we have a couple other writers there as well. Drake, our managing editor of MMA. Came in and did one. So you guys want to check that out as well. Again, rotowire.com, and you go to MMA section of the website. You'll see it there. But otherwise, thank you guys so much. This was fun, and we'll be back in your lives pretty regularly, in fact, because now we have two numbered shows coming up back to back, I believe. So we're gonna do both of those shows. We're just gonna be doing the number shows now. Technically, no pay reviews, but we're still doing the number shows. So
we're gonna be on Friday at 8. Is that, can we commit to that now so you don't have to send an email around?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay.
Friday at 8.
Friday at 8 p.m. We'll be doing
Eastern
our show.
time there, Drake. Eastern time, which was part of the little mix-up before, but all good. But yeah, so we will see you guys in the next couple weeks. And in the meantime, if you want to check out any of these future odds at DraftKings, feel free. You want to take a look at any of our picks, feel free. And otherwise, we will see you next week for.
And hey, if you guys are watching the Buffalo Bill games and Buffalo Bill Denver game, and you care at all, I need 5 yards, 5 receiving yards by Brandon Cook to hit $1,000 parlay. So.
Oh wow!
Say a prayer for me, okay?
All right, yeah, and root for Joe. Absolutely.
We're in overtime, okay?
In overtime, but otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment if you see this on YouTube, and we will see you next week for the start of the Paramount era.
Sounds good, guys. It was a lot of fun. Peace.